Well, good morning, friends. I hope you are doing great today. Welcome to the Wednesday morning Devo. And I want to welcome you to my happy place, being out here on the lake. I don't know if you have a happy place, but sometimes it's good to be there. Sometimes it's good to just imagine that you are there. So just imagine with me that you are here at the lake. Good morning, Phil. Hope you're well. So I want to give people just one more second to show up, but maybe you can just enjoy the scenery with me a bit. It's freezing out here, but it's absolutely beautiful. And I pulled over a whole group of loons that were diving and catching their breakfast. So yeah, I don't know if you had sushi for breakfast also, but I'm sure they really enjoyed it. So I have a question for each of you this week, and that is this: what are you fishing for in 2021? What are you hoping that this new year will bring? Good morning, Sue. And if you're hoping for something in 2021 and you are fishing for something to happen in 2021, here's the question: are you going to do anything about it, or will you just hope that something good will happen? Just hope that magic will strike? So here's what I mean. I've been out on a lot of fishing boats over the years, and it never fails. There's always somebody that's not fishing. They go out there, they pay all the money, they do all the things. Good morning, Annika. And then they come home frustrated that they didn't catch any fish. And I reminded them several times, just put your line in the water. Because if you don't have a line in the water, it's much harder to catch a fish. And you would think that this makes sense to people, but every year I go out with people fishing that are very frustrated that they didn't catch very many fish, and their line was not in the water most of the time. So first step, if we are thinking about aiming for fishing for something in 2021, what is our part? What do we need to do? And even if we pray for good things to happen, even if we hope for good things to happen, but we don't do a darn thing, it's harder for some of those things to happen. And in fact, I was thinking about this. A lot of times we don't invest time in things that matter. So we may want this thing to happen, but we're spending a lot of time on the news and social media and wasting time. It's interesting with devices nowadays and with technology, we can literally be busy all the time and not really do anything. We can feel like, man, I did 150 things today. Most of them did not aim towards anything we were hoping for this year. So someone once said, if you aim for nothing, you will hit it every time. I think that's true. Today's Devo is not just a self-help, hey, you better work harder thing. But let's come back to this thought. What do you hope you'll catch in 2021? And what kind of bait should you use in order to catch that? So if I am going to go out for a largemouth bass of the larger variety, I'm going to use a bait like this. And he is going to fall for this thing certain times of the year, no matter what. Good morning, Amber. If I'm going to catch a smaller bass, I may use something more like this, different flavors. If I'm going to go out in the ocean and look for a calico bass, similar but a little different. If I'm looking for trout, I have my go-to Panther Martin green frog, deadly for trout. If I'm going to look for tuna, it's something more like a mega bait. So based on what I'm going to do, I make a plan. Based on where I'm heading, what I'm fishing for, what I'm hoping for, I put those certain things in my tackle box. I throw those certain things in the water, and I keep working until something happens. I do my part, and literally when I go out fishing, I pray. And I say, Lord, I need you to do your part. Maybe that's selfish prayers, but I know I'm feeding a family, so maybe not. But really, oh, hey, Raul, sometimes when we're out and I don't have the right thing in the water, nothing good happens. Life is like that. So let's get practical. Let's say that you want to grow in your faith this year and you're like, yeah, I got to grow my faith. Do you say a prayer, Lord, help me to grow my faith this year, period, end of story. No, you do your part, which is, I'm going to spend more time in my Bible. I'm going to pray each day for certain things. I'm going to be with God's people. Maybe you start showing up on Sundays at a local church and you invest in your faith. But what if you want to be a less anxious person this year? Do you read one book, listen to one podcast, and you're done? No, you figure out, maybe I need a therapist. Maybe I need to figure out ways to de-stress my mind and my spirit. Maybe I need some time away. It takes a little time, a little investment to see the right thing happen. What if you want relationships in your life to heal in 2021 and you're like, man, these things have been bugging me for years. This is the year. It's gotta change. Good intention is awesome, but there has to be some practical steps, some things thrown out that you are working on in your relationships. Don't expect everybody else to change. The thing that is in common with your messed up relationships is you. So do you need to work on empathy? Do you need to work on conversation skills, listening, fighting fair? Do you need to stop being selfish and see others as more valuable than yourself and focus on how you treat them? Begin throwing those things out in your life and see what comes back. So change in our lives doesn't just magically happen. We have to do our part. We have to ask God to do his part. The book of James says any one of us who knows the good we ought to do and we don't do it, it is sin for us. So in other words, if I know in 2021 God's inviting me into this thing, this is what needs to change in my life. Hey, here's something I should do. If I don't do it, I'm heading the opposite direction of his will for me. And Jesus once told this story in about 3 servants in Matthew 25. There was a master who was going away on a trip. He gave a guy $5,000, he gave a guy $3,000, he gave a guy $1,000, and then he went on a trip and he said, put this to work while I'm gone. So the first guy invested it, doubled his money, and when the master came back, put him in charge of a bunch of stuff. The second guy invested it, made a plan, doubled his money. The master came back and said, good job. You were faithful with a little bit of stuff. I'm going to give you a lot of stuff. The third guy, however, he was afraid, he said. He made excuses. He didn't invest the money. He didn't do what the master asked. And the master came back and said, you wicked, lazy servant, what you've been given will be taken from you. The guy ended up with nothing. Is that because he stole it? No. It's because he didn't take what he was given and use it. He didn't take the opportunity. He didn't steward his life and his time and his gifts well. So that's a scary story. I don't even like reading it. I was hesitant to even tell it to you. But Jesus told some scary stories because he loves us, because he wants us to do it right, because he wants us to live the life we're created to live and not fall into the trap of laziness or fear and not waste another year. We've been given 2021. For all we know, this may be the last one that we have. So what will we do with God has given us? What do you feel like God's inviting you into this year? And is there anything in your life that you feel like, man, that needs to change? Hey, good morning, Edgar. And it will take some steps. So I want to encourage you right now to choose your bait now. Choose your plan. Where do you need to head your life in 2021? Maybe God gave you a word for the year that you've written on a rock or that you have written somewhere, and you're going to aim towards that. So what do you need to begin doing daily? What do you need to begin throwing out daily so that you have the right return, so that you're doing your part? And keep your line in the water. So don't grow weary in doing good. So keep at it, do your part, God will do his part, he promises to do that. So if this has been helpful to you, let me know. Just say some stuff in the comments, let me know how it's going out there, because it's a little strange here in cyberspace not knowing how you guys are doing. And also in the future, if you've invested in some things this year and you start seeing the Lord working, feedback. Let me know. Let your friends know. Let your family know. Hey, I put the Lord first. I started growing in these areas, and look what He is doing. So God bless you, everybody. I hope that you have a fantastic day, and thanks for joining me out on the water. God bless you guys. See you.